Live from Studio 67 in Florida's Capital County, it's time to get fact-checked.
Access granted.
Good people of Florida, welcome back to another episode of Fact Check. It is officially legislative session. We are on day 3 here. Slashing off those days, we got 57 days left. How's everyone feeling after their first week?
Awesome. Hit the ground running.
We made it.
That is true. We made it. All right. So as always, on the first day of session, the governor and the speaker and the Senate president lay out their priorities. Tonette, I think you listened to those a little bit. You want to tell us about them?
Yes, Governor DeSantis, Senate President Albritton, and House Speaker Perez opened the 2026 legislative session by outlining the agenda, focusing this year on economic relief, accountability, and investment. The governor prioritized cutting property taxes, advancing his $117 billion budget with tax relief and state investments, and supporting redistricting, with a few other things. One of the Senate president's big issues this year is Renaissance, where he wants to work on strengthening healthcare, education, economic development in rural counties, and transportation in our state. And last but not least, the Senate president emphasized addressing affordability, insurance, taxes, and reducing prescription drug costs. So we're in for a busy next 57
days, unless they call a few special sessions, which we've already
Don't jinx us
heard
already.
tricklings of. It's all right, though. We're going to get through it all regardless. Thanks, Tonette, on that. They all have their priorities, so we'll see how those lay out this session and what starts getting traded off as bargaining chips. Coming out strong on that first day of session in the growth management landscape, community affairs was a big hit, specifically for me. I had quite a few bills up. Our famous blue ribbon bill was up by Senator McClain. It did pass with one no vote by Senator Pasadomo. We haven't seen any amendments to this bill yet. Hopefully we will shortly. We're working it pretty hard, but for anybody who's got issues with that one, please call your senator, please call your House rep. We got to put some pressure on these guys, leaving massive holes in the growth world.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Or tell a friend to tell a friend that you don't like this bill. The next one up was commercial constructions by Senator Grahl. This bill has a lot dealing with our construction contracts, our uniform permitting, which they want to do in the state here, and also cutting our fees in half for those private providers when they're used. This one's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. It's moving real fast on the House side. The Senate side is moving out a little bit slower. We did get to support a bill, which was awesome. Senator DeSigley is running his fix to Senate Bill 180. It is Senate Bill 840, and this really takes care of all those lingering questions that we had after Senate Bill 180 was passed during that 2025 legislative session. Another bill up that we had was Senator Gates' ADU affordable housing bill. It's Senate Bill 48. FAC did stay neutral on that one because they did take care of our issues dealing with short-term rentals, so that ADU must be rented for longer than 1 month. They are preempting us to put ADUs in our plans and approve them. So that was it for the growth world this week. I know I had a busy one. Peter, you had a few up too. I know water's becoming a big issue over there.
It is.
And I know we're laying heavy on the tech side laying easy on the tech side this week, but your water and your agricultural areas, they got some pressure.
Yeah, Courtney, there's a lot of stuff going on in the water world. I believe I touched on it in the last podcast, but Rep. Maggard and Senator McClain have the big water preemption bills. They pretty much say that a county or a municipality can't adopt laws, ordinances, or regulations that deals with water quality, water quantity, wetland delineation, pollutant discharge. So this is a bill that has been around before. Rep. Maggard filed it a couple years ago. They didn't make it very far a couple years ago, but a PCS has come out on the House side that narrowed the scope of the bill a little bit. Obviously, that is welcome news. However, it has opened up a whole new can of worms. The bill has shifted the onus to preempt local governments from regulating adjacent upland activities from a wetland buffer.
Peter, can you expand on that a little bit? What does that really mean?
That means anything under the sun. It pretty much means that a local government cannot regulate. We
can't do anything above that buffer. So
correct.
We
so
can't regulate anything that's being built.
You can't pass public safety ordinances. You can't review construction plans. You can't review stormwater plans or landfill siting. I mean, this just really is so unclear that it even brings in the implication that buffer delineation is preempted as well, which seems to be the intent of the bill sponsor, Rep. Maggard, because that was the focus of the committee. But I did get up and testify on the upland activities part, and to make sure that the committee knew that this very broad terminology could cause problems and could tie local government's hands when they have to deal with meeting stormwater requirements or water quality requirements. And so, wetlands are natural stewards of our land. Mm-hmm. They're kind of like trees. They give out oxygen. No, I'm sorry.
Yes, educate us, please.
No. They're kind of like trees. Trees give out oxygen. Wetlands, they take in runoff. They take in nutrients. So the second you start impacting wetlands, the second you have big developments that usually we would regulate right next to a wetland, they lose that ability to take in nutrients.
Right, because when you make the surface above it so much of that surface impervious, there's nowhere else for that water to go except in the wetlands. But that's how our flooding occurs in the state, and that's what a lot of people don't realize either, is the only way to mitigate flooding is either by planning for it or letting the natural uses do its job, like wetlands.
Correct. And see, so the problem is we got the buffer, the limiting of the buffer, and now we also have a limiting of any activity upland of the buffer.
Peter, you know what I think?
What?
I think you're just kind of jealous of me in the growth management world that you wanted to take on, what would happen at the top of these buffers.
Yeah.
You just got a little sad that I get to do all the growth management stuff.
I expanded my boundary a little bit.
Yeah.
So, we're working with the bill sponsor. We've met with him a couple times. We met with Senator McClain a couple times. It is the assumption that the senator will take the House's PCS. We're hoping that they go back to perhaps the initial intention of limiting buffer delineation, which in of itself is not good, but it is a whole lot better than this broad, very unclear preemption of regulating upland activities.
Peter, the legislature has never made a broad, unclear preemption a day in their life. Why would they do that today?
Because it's Peter.
They're coming after Peter.
They're coming after me.
All right, what's going on with this rural renaissance bill? We're seeing it again.
Yeah, I mean, first floor session, SB 250, Rural Communities by Senator Simon, a big priority of President Alberton. And, it's a comprehensive package of legislative proposals designed to create a renaissance of sorts throughout rural Florida. It creates opportunities for rural communities to expand education offerings, improve housing, improve infrastructure, invest in health initiatives. And, there's definitely a sense that perhaps this time around there might be more conversations between the Senate and the House. However, we are watching that closely because we know there might still be a little bit of tension. As of date, the House has not filed a similar version. There is a House bill, Rural Counties, that does somewhat incorporate a sort of rural renaissance of sorts. It does provide more opportunities for rural communities, but it is not this sweeping legislation that is over in the Senate side. So it does raise questions if the House is going to be playing ball. I did want to mention that the Rural Renaissance modernizes support for fiscally constrained counties. It does increase from $5 million to $10 million the amount a county may raise from $1 mil of ad valorem tax before phasing out of that fiscally constrained designation, which was implemented in 2006. So this is a much needed update.
So, Peter, I just wanted to point something out. You said something very interesting when you started talking about the Rural Renaissance bill. You said on the first day of session, when they were on the floor, they passed this bill. And just to give our folks who aren't in our landscape very broad overview, a bill normally has to have 3 committee stops. This had 1, and it went to the floor. And on the House side, the compare bill has 4 stops, and it's normally, when it's a testy bill, it does normally get 4. But a lot of our bills only have 3. So when we tell you guys that there are no rules to our game, they set them and then they move them all the time for us.
That's presidential privileges.
Yeah, this was a great thing to just point out as you were saying it. I'm like, normally a bill has to get referenced 3 times and heard, and they sent this straight to the floor. So it's interesting how they make rules and then do whatever they want. So
yeah,
it always makes our job really fun.
It doesn't surprise me, though.
No, but just for our folks who are getting into the landscape a little bit more, our jobs move on a daily basis, which is so interesting. We don't know what rules we play by either.
What schedule? It's something new every day.
Right. Something new every day. All right, Tonette, you got to have a great week and support a bill that happens to be in our legislative action plan. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this body cam bill?
Yes, ma'am. This week we got an opportunity to support Senate Bill 506, the body camera recordings record by a code inspector bill carried on the Senate by Senator Danny Burgess, and Rep. Partington has it on the House side. It passed smoothly through both committees, Community Affairs on the Senate side and Intergov on the House side, and both bills require governmental entities that allow code inspectors to wear body cameras to establish and enforce consistent procedures for training and data retention for their use. So again, this is something in our LAP, something our county support, and it felt good to actually wave and support and not have to try and fight something this week.
I know. It's probably coming, though.
It's already on the way.
It's awesome when I show up to a committee and I have like 5 cars. That literally happened to me on Tuesday, and I was supporting one and opposing 4 of them. But I was like, but we support this one. That's really
FAC,
really great.
Like, oh. I walked in, I said, oh, FAC, I'm just waving in support. I'll let my colleague fight with y'all.
I feel like the sergeants who work the room are going to have to start getting big folders just to carry our appearance sheets up to the front.
Or they might get an iPad.
Right. FAC is here. FAC, check. They're here to talk on this, that. All right. Jumping over in Mr. Jeff Scala's world, finance, tax, and administration, I did want to point out 2 of his bills for this week. The House did take up the sovereign immunity bill on the floor. It was passed 104 yeas, 7 nays. He's been working this bill since committee weeks, but the Senate isn't moving it yet. It's not even referenced out, so it'll be interesting to see. But this one was definitely one of their priorities. Another one of his that I wanted to touch on is the phase-out elimination of non-school property taxes. That was heard in its 3rd and final committee this week. This is the only property tax proposal that we have seen get put on an agenda or heard since we've been back from holiday break. So interesting to see what's going to happen with those. Just wanted to update you guys a little bit on that. Speaking of holiday breaks, we have Martin Luther King Day on Monday. So everyone celebrate that day however you do. Relax, and then get ready for our FAC Legislative Day next week, Wednesday, January 21st. If you are not registered yet, please get registered. We are so excited to have you guys here. Be on the ground floor with us around the Capitol. Our Ledge Day will kick off at 7 a.m. with our breakfast and our legislative briefing, and this will be over at the Turnbull Center at FSU's campus, so you guys will get to see a little bit of FSU's campus before you come over to the Capitol, which is always great being an FSU alum. I love showing off our school. And then at the end of the day, when you guys are done with all your meetings, talking to your members, we will finish up at 5:30 with Yvonne Adams. It's a great rooftop bar overlooking the Capitol. It's beautiful. So please reach out to us if you have any questions before you come up. When you're here, we will be here for you guys as much as we can. They haven't rolled out the calendar yet, so we'll be working hard along with you. But other than that, I think that closes it out for this first week. There's a lot to come.
Wraps up week one.
We know this one was kind of short, but we'll make up for it in some other weeks with some much longer podcasts.
Of course.
So everyone have a great holiday weekend. Enjoy your time with your family and friends. And that's it, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.